So might as well fire up. Oh, what are you here for, Mr. Hendy?
I would like to.
Come on, right up, come on up.
Yeah, make yourself known.
So anyways, I live on White's Camp Road. It's about a half a mile long, and we maintain it. And we'd like you guys to see if you would join our White's Camp Road Association. And that's it.
Yeah, Dennis spoke to me outside of the meeting, and I suggested, why don't you come and just socialize the question?
So what do you want to do again?
I'd like you to join our road association. You guys, the town owns like basically from Pond Road back maybe like 500 feet along the road across the dam.
You just tell us about your association, Dennis, please.
Okay, our association's been, there's 10 people.
Yeah.
5 of them are year-round, 5 are snowbirds. And we maintain the road to whatever degree we have to. Obviously we plow it in the winter, but you know, we have good ditches, we have a good top coat, we have all the culverts are in places where they should be. And we'd like, since you're part of the road, we'd like you to join
So
our...
be a member as a town select board member, you mean? Or just like a citizen?
Whatever to possibly share in some of the cost of maintaining it, but I'm just throwing it out there to...
Yeah, and what, just to clarify, Dennis talked to me outside before the meeting. I said, hey, come to the board. The association isn't asking the town to take over the road.
No.
So that's not on the
No.
table. The question was, and I just suggested, the property owners along the road, and it's kind of like the fine print of, you know, getting the lot deeded to us from the village of Swanton.
Yeah.
It's just to ask the question about the town's involvement in the association. And what I suggested is socialize the question, Mo's here, and we would, you know, we're not gonna respond to it, this is public to be heard, but just to get, you know, put the question in front of the board.
Yeah.
So, and it's the, you know, when the subject had come up in the past, the board's been very clear, you know, we're not really in a position to take over the road, but because now that we're a butter, we're literally a part of the association, or, you know, by the town. So I said,
Was that part of the deed?
is it part of the deed? No, I don't think anyone on
No, but when we accepted the deed, we weren't accepting responsibility to help maintain the road.
That's true.
I just want that to be very, very
that's
open
true.
and known.
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely true, Gavin.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, because I was sure that wasn't part of the deal.
Absolutely,
taking it over.
there's no question about it.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody on the road has the, everybody shares it, is it like you have to?
Right.
Are there people who don't participate?
There's a couple, yes.
Did Swanton?
Swan at the time was, I don't know if I get to it, yes, to a smaller degree. Once so when we go back into some history or no?
Let's jump to you, sure.
Okay, so maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I can't think of the police officer who took over as Swanton manager, but he came to look at the culvert area where you go across for the water from the dam that goes through. And he was petrified because I think he was a safety officer for the state police department or whatever. And so he got someone involved, and then he was wanted to put a big bridge in. I mean, a cement box culvert and everything. And then finally, he said that he was going to put jersey barriers on the sides so no one would go over, because the road was just the same width, and the top coat would fall off to the sides. And different things happened throughout winter and spring. The log would get there and wash up onto that. But we're pretty vigilant of taking good care of that too and stuff. So, so then he finally said, we're going to be selling the land, so we don't want to get involved in it, or giving the land or whatever. So it was a 3-year process with them that really got very little from them. Other than maybe a load of dirt once, and
Is that what you're kind of looking for,
just
in kind?
And it might not even be that much. I mean, I don't know. You know, like this year, everybody put in $250. Last year, everybody put in around $600 or $700 because we did a lot on the outflow of the dam. So
Yeah.
I just want to see if you guys would participate in the is becoming a member of it, or
Yeah.
and I don't know if you want to or what degree or whatever, but just it's out there.
Yeah.
If you don't ask, you don't.
Well, if we don't talk about it, we won't be aware
Yeah,
of it, so,
yeah.
so I kind of look at stuff.
Yeah. But I think the road is pretty high level as far as private driveway goes.
Yeah.
The dam's still holding up, hopefully.
Yes, I don't think the dam will ever have a problem. And you guys have been very, very good, or the town's been very, very good with keeping the beavers from damming it up.
Yeah.
So,
How does your association function? Do you have meetings or something?
well, I'm the kingpin, and I think because I've probably been there the longest, and I used to maintain the road myself. And then as people came in, and it just kept getting divided up amongst whoever was there. And then now we kind of have a two-tier billing. If you're, like, there's probably a $50 difference if you live there versus if you're just a summer resident. So, like, for example, this year we put a load of the crushed tar
Yeah.
over the culvert area.
Yeah, I see that.
And then we put 4 other loads of, I think 5/8 and minus throughout the road. And once, if not twice a year, we hire Mark Bushy. He is a Harley rake, and he comes and Harley rakes the road. And I usually do the ditching with my tractor. You know, we just kind of do everything as cheaply as we possibly can. But
Yeah.
so this year was like $2,500 to $3,000 our road bill to keep it at the level it's at.
Yeah.
So
Well, I guess it's something for us to consider.
Sure.
Other members that, you know, need to be made aware of it.
okay, yeah,
But if you, I'm glad you brought it up to our attention.
yeah.
Maybe we should sell you guys the rest of the land, then we got the dam.
Well,
Sounds like a plan, long-term plan to me.
you should lease out your trees. Your
Well, they should be,
trees.
yeah, if they're being tapped, they should be paying a rent.
Yeah, that's probably another conversation. We did get a nice check from one of our other
Oh, yeah.
town forests this week. The town clerk told me, Linda told me today that they got a $13,000 check for tap rental, so maybe we'll,
Oh, nice.
yeah, talk to,
And if
Well-
they- either that or pull them out of there, well, someone else will tap them.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for
I
coming,
thought you were going
explaining
to
it.
have some trees at one point.
It's a lot cheaper buying.
Oh, that's for sure.
Nobody likes a quitter, you know.
Everybody in Fairfield does. You just have the option to go into any place, anybody's sugar place.
Yeah, if you need some service, let me know. I'll bring it over for free.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
So the town, that's the only town clerk report that I had. So,
Okay.
so road foreman.
So,
What was
Mo,
it?
you're right here?
Yeah, just hiding out back.
Yep. Smart place to hide.
Yeah. Lucky I didn't make it to the couch.
Yep.
You might hear them snore. Okay, the John Deere guy came, gave us a new quote. Just,
This is on the grader?
Yep.
Yep.
this is the old one, and this is the new one. The trade went up, the grade went down, price like that.
The trade went up
Yeah,
and the price went down?
on the grade, yeah.
Oh.
The trade is now 92.5, and it was 87.5. And
we wait longer.
350.
Yes.
Yeah, 378, and the new one is 357.
347?
No, 378 is the old quote. I'm gonna- 300,057. And the balance will be 264,500. The old one was 290,000.
This is the same grader, same
Yeah,
specs,
yeah.
same everything.
Yeah.
Sales are off.
What's that?
Sales are off.
And the only thing he said after July 1st, John Deere already, they're gonna be, like everything else, gonna be going up. Why? Because of tariff? I don't know. He said, don't know what is after July 1st, what it's gonna be.
Yeah, so this quote's good until July 1st. The end.
Well, it's more encouraging. Well,
Yeah, well, I was surprised when he walked in and came in when that number.
and that's the way our machine is as is at this point right now.
Yeah, and with the scaff fires coming off our grader, going on the new one and the wing, and they're gonna come to the shop and do the work.
They're gonna take them
Nothing
off
costs
there, but when they bring the new one, put
Yep.
them on the new rig.
Yep.
How about controls? And would controls be compatible with
Yeah, it's the same controls we got now.
same controls?
Yeah, yeah. It's they call them fingertips or something like that.
Right.
It ain't like that. You got that cat one that is like an excavator. Just
You've had good luck with that.
yeah.
Control. You haven't had really much troubles with that grader.
No. The only thing we had once was where the alternator, the
Oh,
belt,
yeah.
something that screwy there, and
To
it
be
was on
honest,
Perry Road. Yeah. Jimmy's noticed the smoke and which
Yeah.
got it out quick, and they fixed that. I mean, overall, it been a good grader. I mean,
Yeah.
can't.
Does that price include a warranty?
Yes. And the warranty, it's got extended warranty, 84 months, 5,000 hours.
That's the extended warranty.
That's the extended warranty.
And what's the standard warranty?
3 years, 3,000 hours.
So basically, you're buying 2,000 more hours
Yeah.
in a couple of years.
Yeah. And he said this is no extra cost.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna give it a little more consideration than it was.
Yes. I said I was surprised, That's why I said, well, what you guys.
Well, something we're gonna have to hopefully get the other two together, and if you have to do a special meeting on it or something. So everybody's aware of it. And the one we got now is 9 years old, 8 years old.
It's a 12, I think it is. Where the hell they got it here? So probably 14.
So it's. Yeah.
Somewhere I saw this now, but I don't know, John Deere.
How many hours on that one that we have? 5,000 or?
Oh, no, 7,400.
So that's quite a few hours. Huh?
Get up there.
And this is another 1,000 pounds or
Yeah,
a little heavier, right? The newer, the canoe quote.
yeah, I think it was just like 3,000, 3,000 pounds.
Yeah, we saved money, we did not even be in here, Dave.
It's in September.
Right around? Right around.
I was just saying they were offering at John Deere for less than they originally had. So, more for ours and less for theirs.
Yeah, this is on a new quote, and the old quote was, just about 290. they gave more for the grader and dropped the price on. I think they
Must be they heard that John Deere tractor needed replacing too.
probably. I mean, leave that, this with you, in case you guys have some meeting there, and then you guys.
Yeah, I think it'd be
Numbers.
wise to, the quote is good till July 1st. I'd say that was a lot better price than I could eat that price a little easier than I could that first one.
What changed?
The more for the 87.5 for the trade-in value,
Yeah.
they give it 92. Yeah, and then the truck, the equipment, 357. And, trying to think right now, 378.
Maybe they were encouraged by the fact that you said that it was reliable and it could get through the summer, you know?
And there's probably somebody out there. You got somebody.
Somebody on the
They got
I
line.
guess somebody kind of lined up for it.
Yeah, that's, like anything.
Makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, if they got nowhere going somewhere.
What's your opinion? What do you think?
I know how we rotate our trucks, and I know we got a little brake period here, about 28,
Yeah, I think so.
something like that. Which actually, we already got the equipment locked in. We had to get on the list that far out.
Right.
We can, come 28, we said, no, he'll take the spot. But they had to have,
I have a name in it.
yeah,
Yeah, they got that done yet, that truck?
looking for a box.
Still looking for a box. Okay.
Could be somebody, he needed one worse than we did, or something, I don't know, somebody down the truck.
Yeah.
I just speculate, I ain't saying,
Right, but
I ain't heard none, just said they don't have a box.
So if we have to lock in by July 1st, I can bring options for what we have in our equipment to the next meeting.
yeah,
We'd like to
I think
consider
there's,
money and
I think
finance.
there's some money in there for that, if we chose to do it. Because I know that, what is the thing, is it hydraulic pump on the John Deere?
Yeah, fuel pump,
Fuel pump,
fuel pump.
and they don't know exactly, if I remember what Jim told me, they don't know.
No,
Some days it runs full bore, then it cuts out, loses power, then comes back. Could be wiring harness. I mean, that tractor's gotta be 20 years old, 20 something.
yeah,
So I think we're,
yeah, they looked at it and came back yet,
well, what else you got, Mom? This we'll keep and talk and. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I was skeptical of, I just said, that's too much money, it's not the right time.
Yeah.
Until I saw the grader, I talked to Jim, I talked to Mo. It's 7,300 hours, they're not getting any cheaper. We've talked about this with hesitancy, I almost, I mean, 7,300 hours on a grader, that's a good trade-in. And, we're talking about Enosburg and comparing, the hours that we put on an annual basis, and also size matters when it comes to a grader, pushing dirt.
yeah, well,
So I've kind of gone from a no way to, I defer to Tom and you, Gavin, and, Dave and Ron, but I think it's not going to get any better.
I think that's a serious offer. I think Tom, I don't know if Tom's had an opportunity to look at it, but
no, it hasn't, no.
I'd like to take a look at it first, but I really think that's a realistic.
Yeah, that's a significant change from
That's
last
a
meeting.
realistic number to be contemplating, simply because part of it is the lineup, the change of the trucks and the other stuff. It'd be a time to do it, not get caught 2 years from now having to change, and you get
Yeah.
25,000 less than the offer now, and the next one's up another $35,000 or better. And this is brand new, no hours, no lease back
Right,
like that one was.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think about one repair on that grader, 7,300 hours, one repair.
Mhm.
It's gonna be,
Yeah.
what do you think, Dave?
I could go either way, but that's getting more palatable.
Yeah.
The first number was
Mhm.
an
Pie in the sky.
insult, but
Oh,
$83,000 less.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's significant.
That's a big chunk.
Well, it goes a long way to something else you gotta have, like that mower tractor or something. Goes a long ways towards helping that out. That you could look at later on, but
Right, the mower, if it dies, yeah, that's bad, but it's not the end of the world.
no, the
You
same
don't grade
here.
roads for 3 weeks and this
Yeah.
road will be full of people.
Yeah, and they're not all plotting either. Oh,
Got our culverts in on that Cheshire Arthur.
yeah, you guys did a nice job. It's good the way you cleaned it up and got your ditches draining back.
And don't know when they'll be coming. I talked to Joe, but I talked to him about something else, but we're not.
But more harder for the. it's a
Oh,
month-
yeah, if it's
Months of
up
pounding
away, I
down.
don't hear nothing.
Yeah.
That, on the Sheldon Woods Road, you get those steel culverts over the banks still. Is that something you're gonna pick up someday?
Sherwood, that fellow lives right there.
No.
Yeah, the fellow lives on the left right there.
Oh, he wanted to take them?
He wanted him, and
Oh.
I'm gonna stop in and, well, again,
Yeah.
stop in to see him.
If he doesn't.
I went that way the other day, and I said, oh, you know, I'm gonna come back to clean him up. You know,
I just didn't know if you
somebody
forgot
wants
about him.
him. No.
I can stop, I'll stop and see him.
I'll see him once and
he
just
wants
him
them,
up and
don't
blow it up. Right. Yeah, they, 3-4 years ago, did
Nah,
that.
they've been there quite a while.
Yeah, I know. And maybe I'm small on the 4 years ago too. Yeah.
Okay, Mo, you got anything more for us?
No, not really, no.
We can go home, go to bed.
Sounds good to me.
Do you want to hear about anything around the roads that I have at this point, or?
If there's something,
Just an update on the Menard Road. We were waiting to find out from Steve Stanley what he thought about that road. The A&R permit people have not gotten back to him, but I've also so he had a response that I asked him how it would change our our municipal roads general permit if we didn't have it up to standard. And he said, he pointed me in another direction, and I actually attended the Vermont Local Roads Roundtable last year and found out that as long as we continue to improve 20% of our overall not up to standard segments in the town every year, the state doesn't have an enforcement process to bring specific segments up to standard. And the consensus around the table with other municipalities was that there are some not up to standard road segments that have been like that for quite a while, as long as we're not receiving money from the state. And they note that on our maps, as long as we're, we should be in good shape
Yeah.
to
you don't get paid
prolong
for
the
it, it stays
process.
class 3, not meeting standards.
Right, and it's documented, and it's on the, we're not getting the money, and it's on the maps.
Yeah, can live with that.
The other thing that I found out, we don't have a contract for this, but the person who's the coordinator of the Better Roads Grants did say to me that $60,000 has been put aside for the Mackenzie Road for that grant, and so we can't do anything until after July 1st. That's the rule of that grant. But we also need, part of that grant went toward, there was $15,000 in that budget for the final design and permitting work that needs to get done before the actual project starts. So we can start thinking about that. And when the contract comes in to sign, then we can sort of start moving forward. That project doesn't have to be done until the end of next summer, so that timeline
That's
is.
that culvert over there.
Culvert that floods.
Yeah.
We did
Takes a whole chunk of land out
Every
every flood.
flood. And
It's mostly because debris or trees
Come down.
block the culvert.
Yeah.
And Tyler Billingsley did do a hydraulic study for us on that, so there's some clear parameters of what needs to get done. And
You
permits.
got the size of the culvert and stuff too, didn't you?
Yep, and the permitting list, like we need because of the nature of the water that's flowing, there has to be a stream alteration permit and a general permit from the Army Corps and an aquatic organism passage. So there's all of these like, you know, red tapey permit things that need to be assumed before we can do anything
One that takes 3 years.
there. Yeah.
Is there anything else?
No, that's it for roads on
roads.
me. Yep.
Okay, catch you later, Mo. Keep the faith.
Thank you, Mo.
You can tell the John Deere guy will give him an answer at the next meeting.
Okay, I'm good, Jim, we just.
See if he wants to sharpen his pencil more.
They might
Easy to
sharpen
answer.
pencil a little more.
Oh, yeah. Some are ready to just
Next
flip,
week,
but they're just
23rd.
still on one foot.
Yeah, there's got a couple of them all, and maybe
Yeah.
butter a little bit. Have a good night, guys.
Okay,
Keep on
so
telling
I'll-
us how to sharpen pencils.
Okay, we got one done with. Okay, so now you wanna open those bids, huh?
Yep. That's all. So I handed the bids over to Brian.
Dave, would you like to do rounds or?
No.
Okay, so just for the record, for the camera and for the attendees, so this is the first time the town has undergone a process of, in recent memory, of disposing or trying to take lots that are non-productive for the town and make them productive, turn them over to people that are interested in them. And we consulted our attorney, tried to be formal about it, learned a couple things in this process, but there's some questions from some individuals in the town that were asking reasonable questions that we weren't equipped to answer. Some people were saying, "Oh, can I build on it?" Well, that's kind of beyond the scope of the select board. I just want to say that to the camera, and because a building permit, as we know, takes a road, takes septic, takes a building permit, and those questions start to get really quickly get into we're not going to put the town in a position of making a promise that we can't honor. So there were some very reasonable questions that were being asked that we couldn't do. That wasn't part of our. It was the assumption was the buyer would do the research, the bidder would do the research, the bidder would take the risk, and if they chose to make that make that calculation, they would make their bids accordingly. So that's a little bit of an alibi. We also, trying to protect the town's interests, set a minimum floor of 50% of the appraised value, not knowing that, there was interest or, what kind of interest was out there. And we might have to revisit some if they're below that value. And I just wanted to kind of state that for the record. And everything we've done on this is kind of like, we formed a consensus on the board and then we checked with our attorney. So when our attorney advises us, so it's kind of an iteration, and that's where we're at. So with that as kind of the baseline, the RFPs were very formal when they're written, requests for proposals. I'm gonna start right now with 169 Sherman Street, East Fairfield. And we have one bid. So, and we'll see, we're not gonna make, I'll just say it right now, we're gonna announce the bid publicly in front of the cameras, in front of the audience, but we're also gonna probably go into executive session, and before we say, this is the award, we're gonna just make sure that we got our ducks in line before we make any comment. But we got one bid. The bidders, Andrew and Casey Douglas, East Fairfield. Thank you everyone for participating while I'm opening this.
So there were two documents that needed to be in each envelope. One is assurance of funds, and one is the bid document that has the estimate. The,
Okay, well, this is an actual cashier's check, so that's more than we required. This is the form. So I'm gonna read it, at the risk of taking a little time. Dear Select Board, we would like to make an offer for 169 Sherman Street property, East Fairfield. Our formal offer is $71,000, paid in full with a cashier's check included in this envelope with this offer letter. We own an abutting property, which is attractive to the board. We own an abutting property, 997-666 Route 36, East Fairfield. Our current intentions are to preserve our privacy. We have a current office and a future building site that overlook this address. We plan to be in tenants. Are you? Yeah. Well, that's pretty clean. And that sounds like a win-win, a butter. No editorial, but.
what was the 51% bid?
The 51% was $32,000 on this property.
Okay.
So that's probably pretty close to what.
Let's just, open, read the numbers, and then because at this point, we don't want to promise anything, we want to discuss it.
Well, so we're gonna do our due diligence, but just for transparency, that's what we got.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna go on to the next, 4142 North Road. This is a landlocked property, and we have two bids, the Callens and the Magnums, and we knew, both the butters, and as we said, this was a landlocked property, which certainly has an impact on its value. So the Magnum, Mark Magnum, to the Select Board, I'm ready to formally submit our offer to purchase parcel located 4142 North Road. We're offering to purchase for $12,500 for the North Road property. And James and Christy Callan, dear Select Board, we'd like to place a price of $9,000 for a landlocked parcel 4142 North Road. So once again, as Dave wisely counsels, we're gonna put those right there. And
Is there a number?
yeah, $9,000. So one bid was 12.5 and one was for 9. And okay, the next bids are on 1175 Romar Road, and we have two bids, James and Ashley Hungerford, and the second is James St. Pierre. And the Romar 51% of appraised is 29,223. So the first bid is from the Hungerfords, and that bid is $29,300. And the second bid is from the St. Pierre, James St. Pierre, and formal offer purchase, dear Select Board. I'm interested in I am offered to prepare 42.5 for the land. And So that's for Romar Road. So the last property is 277 Berry Wild Road, East Fairfield, and we had one bid. It came in, the closing date of the bids was 4 June, and this was received on 5 June at 1 o'clock. So, I'm not sure if I should proceed with this.
Yeah, the question I had was, do you open it or not?
Is this the only bid you received?
Yeah.
I say we proceed to open.
This is the only bid though. There's not,
Right.
someone
It's
else
the
didn't submit
only
one
bid.
earlier or anything.
Yeah, it's the only bid we received for this property.
I'm gonna recuse myself.
Yeah, for the record, Dave is recusing himself. So,
From all of them or just this?
no, just this one.
This one.
Okay.
Where did we say this by Berry Wild Road was?
It's pretty much Romar Road. It's right over by East
So it's
Fairfield.
up in that same
Yep.
track, right?
Same, very same, yeah, it's on a private road, private right of way.
It's a class 4,
Class 4.
untraveled road segment, which would need to be upkeeped by the land.
And how many acres is it? 4 or 5? They were all 4 or 5 up there, weren't they? I guess there were a few tens.
Yeah, this is 4.6 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did consult, I talked to our attorney about the due date, and his feeling was you really should rebid it. That's what the attorney said. I think the board can do whatever, it's the only bid. I think to be squeaky clean, I think I would advise us not to open it and to rebid and, you know, make it a 2-week cycle or something. That's one person's opinion. I mean, we published that it was due on this date. We received it after the date. It's the only bid, but, and I think we just, you know, say, make an announcement that we're gonna rebid this.
We can discuss it in executive.
Yeah, I think that's the smartest thing to do. But, so let's do that before we open this, or let's discuss it in executive so we make sure that,
So will someone make a motion, we go to executive session to go over these bids?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Somebody second it?
Yep.
All in favor?
I,
No one opposed? Well, we're gonna have to ask you folks to step out for a bit so we can discuss this and we'll give you an answer on this.
that was outside of our published closing date. We're not gonna open that bid, and we're gonna open up, Kathy's gonna research. We think it might be 30 days, but whatever the statute requires, we're gonna do another bid cycle, just like we did the last one. And we're gonna return this bid to the one person who gave it, and anyone else will have, who has an interest, can continue to do their due diligence about the appropriateness of that property. And we're gonna republish the RFP and repeat it. And that's with the abundance of caution and under the counsel of our town attorney, and that's the way it is. Happy to answer any questions about that. So I'm gonna make a motion for the board, and the first I'm gonna make 3 motions. I'm gonna make a motion that the board accepts the high bid from Casey and Andrew Douglas on 169 Sherman Street, that we accept their offer for that property of $71,000.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed?
Okay, I'm gonna make another motion for the board that we accept the offer from James St. Pierre of 1175 Romar Road for the offering price of $42,500 for this lot.
Second. All in favor?
All right,
And opposed? That was done.
I'm gonna make a motion that we accept the offer of $12,500 for 4142 North Road parcel, ID number 414200.
I'll second that.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? That one's through. So that's the end of it. Thank you for, yeah, thank you for.
So I'll be in touch
showing
with
interest.
the bidders about next steps. We have to consult with legal counsel about, a couple things, but other than that, for next steps, I'll be in touch.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
You're gonna return the other bid?
Do I wait?
You're gonna return the other bid?
I can return the other. Thank you.
Okay.
Buy 2 tires on a
Do
new
we
grader.
have more public comment, or?
Did you want to speak to the board, or?
Oh, I was requested to be here, so here I am. And.
God bless
it's
you
about-
for doing
it's
that.
about the cemetery.
Well, then come on up, Bill.
Come on up.
Dave probably knows about that.
I think I heard a rumor.
Intimately.
So the biggest thing is, people are wondering what's going on with that cemetery. Tried to get the town to take it over, but we have to have a financial statement
Yeah, well, that's,
and proof thereof. You represent the people of the committee, I guess, of the cemetery.
I don't know exactly how I got the job, but I've had it for about 50 years,
Yeah,
so.
so you just did it for the pay.
Beg your pardon?
You just did it for the pay.
I did, yeah.
Fame and glory.
Actually, I got a lot of money sunk in that place,
Thank you.
so.
Is there any money left in the funds, Bill? I mean,
There's $1,000, that's one reason that there's $1,000 left, maybe 1,100, that's it. I mean, lots were $50 a piece, and there's 12 burial lots, and each one of them, they're not full.
so they need to up the burial rate.
But I mean, I don't recommend putting I don't want any more people going there.
It's
Because,
pretty cool, you're saying?
It's pretty full, but it's gonna need a lot of work down the road.
trees cut back and that kind of thing.
Trees, you can't, you talk about cutting a tree, people have a fit.
Well, they have more of a fit when it falls on the stones.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, yeah, so I'll try to do some sort of accounting on it so I can figure out what the financial, I'm just lucky I've got good help to help me do that.
Yeah.
So you're the only one left of any sort of board or anything, you kinda got given the job at one
Are
point?
you still considered a nonprofit? Was it 501c or something?
I don't even know what that is, I just pay the dues to the state, and
Yeah.
so I think it's $15 a year or something like that.
Have you ever tried having like a work bee down there and stuff?
A what?
A work bee of some nature, you know, people that
Well,
have family members there?
people were bitching a little bit about how high the grass was getting a couple of years ago. And so some people got together in the town and they wanted to go in and mow it. And I said, go for it. I said, no, I'd be more than happy to have you do it.
Yeah.
Never saw them again. They did it once, right?
Well, that sounds about right.
Familiar.
Yeah. But I mean, so I don't think that would be pretty short-lived.
Yeah, but even if you got it once, we got a person that does do the lawns.
Beg pardon?
We have a fellow that does many of the cemeteries in town that the town's responsible for. But it'd be a hell of a lot easier if it was trimmed down once before you went and looked at it.
It's not horrible, I looked at it yesterday, I was over that.
Is that mostly
It's
sand?
tall, but it's
Well,
sandy or.
we had, there's you do it before Memorial Day. You know, you try to
Yeah.
time it so but the rain came this year. I mean, it never stopped.
Right.
And so I knew there was gonna be, I mean, they come once or twice a year, maybe Labor Day and Memorial Day. So, you know, we were doing it every 2 weeks for a while there. I was just eating up money, so
Yeah.
I said, you know, and everybody raved out, and I said, look, but I tell you what, it costs money to make it look nice. And,
Now, we've got some town ones. What are we charging for those lots now? 400?
I'd have to get the bid, I'm not sure.
Pretty sure it's $400 unless we've raised it. And for one box.
St. Pat's,
No, town cemeteries like Maury up on Ryan Road, Soul over at Cedar Swamp. They've sold a lot over there, at least 6 or 8.
yeah,
Yeah. And there's 2
the
others.
Soul Cemetery,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that one we were lucky, Bill Hannon, before he left, surveyed it out for us. That's a big old plus over there. They're marked out lots.
You're not selling big lots, are you?
1 bodies.
Well,
Each lot, $400. 1 body. That's the way most of them are set up now.
I know the one up in
Egypt's set up that way.
Franklin or someplace like that, I think it was like $40 for a lot.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty nice cemetery, but it's pretty hard to get people out of Fairfield.
I mean, people pay, I guess they don't care where they get buried, but I know most of the cemeteries in Mount Calgary down there by the city school, Sounds Bay, they're $400-600 a lot for one body.
Well, it's the long-term maintenance of it, I mean, it's
Yeah,
Yeah,
$15, don't
yeah.
get the lawnmower too many times.
no, not at all.
And there's no one else that wanted to be active in it at all?
Everybody wants to be active in it, but nobody wants to do it.
They didn't want to show up and say, hey,
Yeah,
I'll do some book work or whatever the case might be.
but I mean, I'm not crazy about having grass knee-high to, you know,
Yeah,
and in places in that cemetery, the grass will grow like crazy, and then other places it's not.
is that a stony cemetery or sandy or what kind of soil is in there?
You know, it's gravel,
Gravel?
it's easy digging.
Yeah. Well, we've
But anyway,
got,
that's what I'm here for,
yeah.
so,
Well, before the town can take any over, the way I fully understand it is, like North Fairfield Cemetery, the town has pretty much taken that over. They do have a committee, but the town has assumed responsibility for it because they're out of money.
Can you kind of, I think, like you said, give us an idea of the accounting or what's what over there? And just a letter, if you want us to take it over, saying, I've been doing this for 50 years, I don't have a committee, I don't have support, you know, just so we have something for that. Right, I mean, that's what we've done with the other ones.
Yeah. It had to be an agreement, they wanted the town to take them over.
yeah, I have no problem, I'm not trying to hold on to it,
Yeah.
I just, you know,
You got a lot for yourself in there, Bill?
I got plenty of land.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, there's a lot there, but
yeah.
it's, I'm not, cross that bridge and let somebody else deal with it.
Well, we must have somewhere in our records, Kathy could get them assembled for you. Some of the requirements we have to have for us to start the
I was
process.
gonna get them, from Dick, because Dick knows Dick Horvath.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, but,
As his late sweet beloved wife said, you know, Richard, if you could get that clutter out of your brain, you'd be smarter than Einstein.
that's for sure.
Oh, God, he had a lot of facts and knowledge.
A lot
in
of
that.
knowledge just here.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's it.
But yeah, I mean, it's not something that's gonna be easy to do. I mean,
Yeah.
what I'll do is I'll go through, basically, I just wrote a check out of my personal account, and I should be able to go find quite a few of my check registers, and I can, because I didn't really take any money for myself.
Well, there probably wasn't much left if they were charging $30 or 20. Would you say they charge per lot?
They got $50 for a lot. Of course, the families were big,
Yeah,
so, you know, they wanted 12, there's lots out, there's burial lots that have 12 spots.
did they all get used or?
No, they didn't.
They're like St.
Just people-
Patrick's? Yeah,
People move away, and that's why it's a good idea, at least, you know, maybe one or two at the most, and then buy another, you know, if the husband and wife wanna get,
St. Patrick's used to be 6 to a lot,
yeah, it's crazy.
Linda thinks it's 450.
450. I was gonna say, that number sounds realistic,
Where's that?
I didn't ask her for a specific cemetery,
but I think that's what we're getting out of those sold ones, because we haven't, that seemed to be quite a few for a while, wanted to be buried
Yeah,
over there.
there's,
Because you got another one up by Gary Trudell's at Leach Cemetery, somebody
Yeah.
could be buried there if they chose.
That must be pretty well filled up, isn't it?
It looks, I mean, there's stones, but there looks like empty areas within it,
Yeah.
you know?
Hey, you mowed the cemetery down there, didn't you, or was it Aaron?
yeah, we all did.
Yeah. It's,
when you were a kid, you mean?
yeah.
I painted a fence or two for a cemetery once upon a time.
Your box is all settled. It was always fun to drive along and fall into a pine box.
Yeah.
Or fill in that hole,
Yeah.
So we're gonna have you give us some type of financials and a
Well-
letter.
The last time I was in here was about the cemetery, of course, and there's quite a bit of money for the Bradley Cemetery and hidden away in one of your programs we found it. I mean, I think you knew where it was.
There are CDs that we keep,
So there is,
but we haven't drawn down on those CDs.
yeah,
That-
no,
as
I
far as
know, you haven't.
Yeah,
No, this can be simple.
Yeah.
This is one of those, somebody is taking care of something and that's the way it's been. And that's where this process is made to move it to the town's responsibility to take for it. Take
Well,
care of it.
and I'm sure, because he does so many of the others, he'll give the town as good a price rate as anybody.
Right.
Because he does at least 7.
Right, I'm saying for Bill's
Yeah, to
simplicity. we're not
get
looking for a-
transitioned out and not be responsible.
Yeah, this isn't gonna be a,
Do you have any old records, Bill? You know, like when they
I think
established this?
the old records got burned up in the old town.
Oh, in the
clerk's
old town clerk's building that
office. I
time.
mean, which,
Yeah,
oh, that's,
no, if there's other, duplicate,
You said you had to send $15 to the state
I think it was 15, yeah,
every year, you do that?
yeah.
So you must have, that must be a record. right there.
Yeah, but I have not paid that in the last 4 or 5 years,
Oh, okay.
for sure.
I got you.
but I bet they still get it in
But
that
yeah, I mean,
association down there, whatever.
yeah, I would say just.
Yeah, but I have not paid that in the last 4 or 5 years,
Oh, okay.
for sure.
I got you.
But I bet they still get it in
But
that
yeah, I mean,
association down there, whatever.
Yeah, I would say just get us what you can, and that's,
but anyway, I've never touched, and I don't think I've touched that money in the account. Well, I don't know what you call that account, but
it's a CD managed by the town.
Guess there's a few of them, right?
so the town will have that to work with.
Yeah.
And because I did not want to touch it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming in, Bill, and
Yeah,
as soon as we
appreciate
can
what
get
you've been
stuff
doing.
together, we'll see if we can get this transitioned over,
Yeah,
give you a break from it.
yeah. Okey doke, guys.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming in, Bill.
Yeah, well, you know where I live.
Well, yeah, that way you should be fixing that house up, according to Cindy.
Yeah,
We go buy some buildings to work on that house sometime.
no way. Not enough money in this place. You couldn't give me an old house.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
Ours was built in 1865 with used lumber. Gives you a pretty good idea.
1865?
Yep, with used lumber.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's older than mine, I think.
Well, you know it when you go put floors and stuff down. There's one door, we tried to do it, you put a marble, put a floor down, goes over here, almost to that wall, then makes a loop, comes down, and winds up right in front of the chair.
Oh, jeez.
But it's an optical illusion. You had to look at it, you'd never think it was that crooked.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an old house.
Okey-doke, guys.
Okay, thanks a lot,
Thank you.
Bill.
See you, yeah, nice seeing you guys.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes from 27 May.
I'll second that.
Is there any alterations, is there anything you want to change, alter? If you don't, we're going to vote on it the way it's presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Good enough.
Amcare is gonna increase next month. Do you remember what they're allowed to increase?
It's on the invoice.
No, what are they allowed to increase
Were
from?
they allowed to increase? I can't remember.
Remember,
I can pull it from the file if you want.
yeah, check it, because this is 4%, and I'm pretty sure they told us 3%.
I was going to say, because we locked in for long term.
Okay.
This is
I'll-
.99, it's an extra $30 a month, whatever, but
Yeah.
that's not what we signed.
Okay.
Wow.
Can't trust anybody. no.
Impressed.
Well, don't be impressed, because I might,
You're gonna be
I
on
might be
Doge.
wrong.
You're
I
gonna
might
be
be
on
wrong.
Doge.
And then consolidated, we pay $187 a month, and that's for the 3261 number and internet.
At the garage.
3653 and 3261. How does that work? So the question is, we have a consolidated phone bill and a UMA or Oompa Loompa, or,
UMA is different.
yeah, I know, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
So UMA, 6608 is the garage. UMA makes the phone messages go from here to somewhere else. Like the zoning administrator can have the phone in the zoning office ring on their own
Right.
phone.
It's our transfer and
The
Oh, okay.
transfer
inter-office
system.
transfer system. And then, yeah, and then consolidated is the phone line.
I just, $130 a month to send it to a different mailbox, seems like a lot in this age of simple computer stuff. I'm just asking because I saw it.
That's an add-on to the consolidated,
It's different entirely.
entirely different.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with
So
consolidated.
it's its own
When the
service.
phone, yeah, when the
Except-
phone rings in the zoning office and no one is there, like normal,
Yeah.
it gets sent two ways to the zoning administrator's email and to, if we have it set up with someone, to the zoning administrator's phone.
Right, so I get emails if I have a message on my phone. And we also can accept faxes from to our individual phone lines. If it's like to have a private fax option.
So the same service is over at the town garage, so call comes in for a mole day or something, it will go to his cell phone also?
I don't know if he's got a mobile.
I don't know how
I'd be,
complicated.
I'd be
I
surprised.
think their UMA fee is like 60 something or 50 something a month.
Is it based on usage, is that the deal?
No, it's based on, it's all kind of listed in there. There's like 4 or 5 different fees plus, in each invoice.
Yeah, I was just curious because I knew UMA was phone stuff and we had talked about it years ago, but it's another one of those 140,
Well,
$50
it keeps
a month.
creeping up,
that-
it's like
yeah,
we're gonna get
it's-
satellite dish down under $90 and then within 3 years they've
I'm
been
not
back
really
over
sure
100 something.
what other office management telephone systems are available.
I guess my thought would just be
Look it up.
see if you can just look it up and make sure it's something we're still using, still makes sense, and
I know that, when we used to have a zoning administrator, they used it.
I use it, I mean, when I get.
I've had it on my phone when I've been in charge of being the ZA.
If I'm away from my desk and I know that I have a phone call, I'll check I check my emails to see if I have a phone call. I don't call in to find out.
So it sounds like you're still using it.
Yeah,
It's active.
I should probably call up what's his name and get put on it again.
Who handles that for you?
Matt
Oh, the
Boudreau,
guy from-
the computer guy.
From Sheldon?
I don't have time to be the ZA from now until the end of July or the middle of August. So I haven't got it put on my phone or my,
I'm sorry.
how important is the order?
Oh, I can do
Brian
that in order.
took a bunch of stuff out and put it
Brian.
back.
Oh, son of
I know.
a- I don't care. I'm gonna
Actually, I
stand
know
it
where
after
it is.
you signed it. I'm
I
not
can
signing
make-
it.
No, I did it in a logical order and I just figured out what it was.
It's okay, don't worry about it.
No,
It has-
never mind,
Yeah,
look at that.
Sorry about that.
that's good.
You got more items from your?
I do, so we got notice this morning from Maple Run that because our invoice was so high this year, they're putting our plowing, out to bid. My pen is leaking, do I have it on my face?
no.
Oh my gosh, okay, it's like right here. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that, this year,
I was gonna recommend on that, are you going on to another subject?
no,
Instead of them going out to bid, I think I'd make a phone call and say, hey,
they already paid us.
no,
We
but I'm
invest.
saying, going forward, say, hey, let's consist.
I would think it wouldn't be a bad thing to call the office, talk to that Kimball, and say, just give you a heads up before we do this. The reason Fairfield ever wound up doing this, because you had contractors before that didn't plow it and sand it, and you had people wound up with broken arms.
Yeah,
That's how the town got involved over there in the first place. And well, I think Scotty Green was plowing for them.
I'd let them bid it, make sure I knew what their lowest bid was, and I'd
Yep.
charge more than I could. We are not hurting them a bit.
So-
And the truth be told, if we didn't have to plow it, it would ease up a lot of the workload on our guys.
Okay, I disregard.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
it's,
Well, it's not like we need the work.
yeah, no.
So the reason that it went up, that it was higher this year is because we averaged 43 times a year, and this year, we went up there 55 times. So, and it's since we did that recalculation to cover our costs a couple years ago, so this is the highest number since that happened. And they just
You might
decided,
point out to them though that they should go out to bid, but we may not be interested in doing it again. We only did it because of those conditions that they were under before.
yeah, I think that they're.
Yeah, a friendly phone call that maybe
Yeah.
Just explain, but I'd say to
Yeah.
them, the reason we ever got involved in this was because it was not getting done. You had people that, and I know 2 of them broke their arms.
Wow.
Because they didn't, icy days, they didn't get done. And they do that first thing in the morning. So but I give them a heads up to say, just so you're aware of why we did it. And if you think we're too high, we may not be interested in doing it because we're breaking even as it is.
Right.
And I think what they pay, I guess it'd be, if we had looked through the budget for Maple Run, see what they pay for St. Albans City and Town. And see what they paid out, they truly paid out there, because it's gonna be a hell of a lot more than they paid out to have this one done. But let them see how high it goes and say, well, guess we better be upping our rates, because that new truck,
So I
that was
don't,
3 times what we paid for the original truck instead of doing that with.
I don't know when their bid process is gonna be, but as soon as I know, I'll let you know.
Yeah, just a friendly phone call.
Yeah, I'll make a phone call. Let's see, so last week I testified on behalf of the town at the PUC regarding the proposed Oregon wind farm, and we're waiting. And I'm taking Thursday and Friday off to go to New Hampshire to spread my father's ashes this week, so I just wanted to make sure you know that I'll be in the office. And the rest of the pieces that I have are the animal control officer and the local emergency management plan. The local emergency management plan is just a little different because they have a new adoption form. The previous one is obsolete, and it includes the regional emergency
just the one?
management
No, there's two.
appointee, which has never been on this form before, but I've been attending those meetings with Sean Coleman at NRPC. That's part of the things that I've always done. So I put my name there as that appointee. I don't know if that's something you want to continue to see me do, but I'm happy to do it.
Yes, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. And I just need a motion, so that's really it, and also I need the contact.
You need a motion to continue as the appointee for the
No,
representative?
because it's written on here, I just need a motion to approve the local emergency management plan, municipal plan for 2025, and then I need one person to sign it. So I need a motion.
So, someone make the motion?
Brian did.
Someone second it?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
All right.
Okay, and then right on the line there.
Are you done?
That's it, except for the animal control thing, and then an executive session about employees.
Did, before we do the animal control, did you, so Jim from Bugby was gonna give a quote to Mo. Did that happen yet?
I
Bugby
haven't
insulation?
seen it. I haven't
Okay.
seen it.
He
I
was-
haven't heard or seen it.
Okay, I gave him Mo, I should have asked Mo when he was
I
here.
can follow up on that.
Okay, yeah, he was gonna give a quote to blow cellulose in that garage.
Okay.
Because they kind of put the minimum amount there, didn't they?
Did he go in, did you see it
And
at
then
all?
they put foam insulation, is it up in the higher part? Because otherwise they wanted this
I think it's all
20,000
cellulose.
gallon tank. Remember up on the side hill and the 6-inch line coming in?
Fire station.
Yeah, fire station. And I think they wanted also for the,
Oh, yeah, the sprinkler had to be a dry, wet system.
yeah,
Yeah, it's, yeah.
that's why we went doing
I
that.
don't know, it's heated.
Do you know?
At the garage, at the fire station, yeah.
Do you
Well,
know
anyways,
if he went down there to look at the project?
No.
You don't know?
he got Mo's contact information and he was gonna coordinate directly with Mo
Right, to
to
get.
go swing by and give
Okay,
him a
I'll find
quote.
out what happened. So just resumes, and then this animal control officer, she resigned. So I wasn't sure what you wanted to do about next steps there.
That lasted a long time.
I got her letter. I know that I forwarded it to you guys. But I did bring a copy for you if you want it. She said she's open to a conversation.
Yeah.
And so I think, the question is what would the select board like me to do in order to move forward from this? I know that.
I'd like to talk about that in executive session so that we talk about an employee issue in
Yeah, that's.
in fairness to her. So unless there's something public, something,
No, that's.
I would think we'd
I was gonna say, is there any
re-advertise.
more actions that you gotta do?
No, it's just we need to talk about the zoning position, and we need to talk about the animal control.
And someone make a motion to approve the warrants? Have we done that?
So we,
No,
You do it?
Dave did, I
Second?
seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So after that, really, there's nothing more you can do except top executive session with personnel, right?
Yeah, I think we should advertise we should interview if we have applicants for the zoning administrator. Is it?
I mean, that would be a next step. There's actually 4 that came to the top for me. One just emailed me today, and I think she was in that list before that I emailed you, but.
so let's do that in personnel.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
before we
Okay.
talk about
Okay.
resumes and whatnot.
Okay, so I make a motion, we go to executive session to discuss personnel issues.
We're gonna be a while.